Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into some really fascinating material today.
We are. Our source is an epilogue, and it's quite a reflection, weaving together insights from, well, some pretty diverse areas.
Yeah, really diverse. You've got Walter Russell's work, ancient Eastern wisdom traditions, and then threads from modern science, too.
Yeah.
Things like quantum mechanics, cosmology.
Neuroscience as well. It's less about providing, final answers
Right.
and much more about looking back on a journey, seeing the universe through these different lenses, understanding our place in it all.
Exactly. So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack the key ideas in this text. We want to explore how it tries to connect these fields that, usually seem pretty separate.
And what those connections might be telling us about, well, reality itself,
Hmm.
fundamentally, and about how we even go about seeking knowledge.
And maybe about our own journey through life, too.
Definitely. And right from the start, there's this hint, this core idea that maybe what we perceive our everyday reality, it might just be scratching the surface.
That there's something else underneath.
Yeah, a profound underlying unity, something connecting absolutely everything.
Okay, let's dig into that. The source starts by reflecting on this shared exploration, right? Pulling together insights from someone like Walter Russell. He was that early 20th century scientist and mystic.
That's him, known for some pretty unconventional ideas, like the universe being created through thought and energy in motion. Quite radical for his time.
And then it blends that with, the deep wisdom from Eastern traditions that have thought about consciousness and reality for thousands of years.
Plus, what neuroscience tells us about our own minds and bodies, the intricate workings there.
And also the really strange, kind of counterintuitive stuff that modern science finds at the very edges, the quantum world and the sheer scale of the cosmos.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that the source isn't just making a list. It argues that these different fields actually show profound echoes of each other.
Echoes. How so?
Well, ideas like the universe maybe being born from thought or consciousness itself, or being fundamentally made of light and energy, moving in specific rhythms, like a cosmic breath, almost.
A cosmic breath. Huh.
And this idea of balance around some kind of central stillness, a zero point. The source is saying these aren't just isolated concepts popping up randomly.
So they're resonant, showing up in different ways in different fields.
Exactly. Different languages, different approaches, but pointing towards perhaps a single unified reality hidden beneath all the diversity we usually focus on.
Okay, so if these ideas resonate across fields, does that mean, does the source imply we're sort of done? Have we figured it out?
Is the mystery solved?
Yeah, basically.
And the source gives a very clear answer to that. Absolutely not. Unequivocally, no.
Okay.
But it frames this not as some kind of failure on our part, but actually as the most, well, liberating and beautiful truth. The universe isn't presented as some finite puzzle box that we solve, put on a shelf, and forget about.
Right, not something to just be completed. So what is it then?
Ugh, this is where it gets really poetic almost. It's described as an infinite, perpetual creation, an unfolding mystery that just never, ever ends.
Like a song that's always composing itself. Yeah. Or a dance that's always new.
Precisely. Endlessly novel choreography and always new melody. The beauty isn't just in the patterns we have managed to spot or the laws we've approximated with science so far, but crucially, it's also in the vastness that's still unknown, the depths we haven't even begun to plumb. This creative dance, it's eternal.
And this mystery, it's not just some abstract thing happening way out there in space.
No, not at all. The source suggests that if you, the listener, have engaged with any of these perspectives, maybe through your own quiet thoughts or scientific study or reading philosophy, you've probably had moments, maybe just brief flashes, where you knew deep down that reality isn't just what our ordinary senses show us.
Like a gut feeling.
Kind of. A glimpse, maybe, of that underlying unity, that dynamic flow of energy behind everything. And the idea that consciousness might be, fundamental, not just some accident of complex matter.
That's a really powerful thought, that we might already have these little hints, these intuitions. The source calls them whispers of truth or echoes of the cosmic song.
Nice phrasing.
Yeah. And it says they come from all over, speaking different languages. Which leads to this strong advice, doesn't it? Don't just stick to one path.
Absolutely. Don't rely only on science or only on one spiritual teacher or only one philosophical viewpoint or just your own tradition.
But that raises a question then. If reality is unified, why do all our different ways of looking at it, science, spirituality, art, whatever, often seem so separate, sometimes even contradictory?
That's a key point the source tackles. Its perspective is that, well, think about it. The mystic who feels that unity inside. The philosopher wrestling with the nature of existence, the scientist measuring tiny forces or vast cosmic structures, the artist trying to capture something unseen, the ancient traditions holding on to deep insights.
They're all doing different things.
Different things, yes, but the source suggests they're all holding genuine, precious pieces of the same huge, complex tapestry. They aren't actually separate truths fighting each other.
Ah, so they're just different angles, different ways of describing the same thing.
Exactly. Different languages trying to articulate the same ultimate reality, which makes it a call for integration, really.
Integration. Okay, so listening to intuition, but also studying ancient texts, analyzing data, considering views totally different from our own.
Yes. Each one offers a unique lens, a unique viewpoint. And the key, according to the source, isn't to get scared by the differences or try to prove one field wrong using another.
It's about listening for the resonance, the common chords that ring true across them.
Precisely. And then consciously weaving them together, creating your own map of the cosmos, a map that's always evolving as you learn more.
Because the universe isn't just speaking one simple language.
No, it's like it's speaking in countless tongues all at once, singing in infinite frequencies simultaneously. And wisdom, in this view, isn't about hearing just one note perfectly.
It's about hearing the harmony between the notes.
Yeah, seeing how every unique thread, every different perspective actually adds to the incredible beauty of the whole picture.
Looking forward, then,
Mm-hmm.
the source seems hopeful, doesn't it? It talks about a future where maybe those rigid walls between science, spirituality, philosophy, they might start to dissolve a bit.
Yeah, it envisions that possibility, not because one wins over the others, but maybe through a shared understanding that they're all reaching for aspects of the same core truth, just, in their own ways.
Replacing walls with bridges.
Bridges of deeper understanding, yeah. And collaboration. It really resonates with this idea that maybe, just maybe, our collective awareness is shifting, moving beyond a purely materialistic view.
A view which, let's face it, can feel pretty isolating sometimes, lacking inherent meaning for a lot of people.
Exactly. So embracing a reality that's seen as unified, conscious, alive, rhythmic, it doesn't just offer meaning, potentially. It might give us a more holistic way to deal with the challenges we face, personally and as a species.
So the journey isn't over. These insights from Russell, Eastern thought, science, they're not the final word.
No, they're presented more as catalysts, starting points for your continued exploration, your unique contribution to understanding it all.
And this is crucial, isn't it? The source really hammers this point.
Yeah.
You, the listener, are not separate from this whole thing you're exploring.
Right, you're not just watching some distant clockwork universe.
You're presented as an active part of it, an expression of that universal one, like a note in the song.
A dancer in the rhythm, a spark of the divine flame, all those metaphors point to the same idea. You are integral.
The light and energy in your body. It's the same stuff as distant stars. And the quantum foam.
That's the perspective. The same fundamental light and energy, just arranged differently.
Mm-hmm.
And the consciousness in you isn't seen as isolated, but like a localized spark of a universal, boundless mind.
The mind that orchestrates the whole cosmic show.
Something like that. So you're not just in the universe. In a very real sense, the universe is also within you.
There's that great line in the source about how scholars might dismiss some concepts as just metaphors, but it warns that metaphors can bite back.
Yeah, I remember that. And the bite of existence, it suggests, isn't about its limits or its end.
It's the opposite.
It's the infinite wonder, the perpetual mystery, the boundless potential for creation and understanding that we actually get to be part of.
That's a powerful way to reframe things, what it means to be here.
It really is.
So let's bring this together for you, the listener. What does this deep dive really point towards? We've touched on some key insights from the source.
Like the universe being this infinite, unfolding mystery, not some problem we've already solved.
Right. And the idea of an underlying unity beneath it all, woven from light, energy, rhythm, maybe consciousness itself.
And the value, the real importance of drawing understanding from everywhere. Science, spirituality, philosophy, your own intuition. Looking for that resonance.
Listening for the echoes.
Exactly. And maybe the most powerful message. You're not separate from any of this. You're an integral part of it, an expression of the whole, your unique note in that cosmic song.
Which connects this whole discussion right back to your own personal journey, doesn't it? Your own search for understanding.
Yeah, these insights we've talked about, they aren't meant to be the final destination. They're catalysts, really. Sparks for your own thinking, your own exploration.
As that Zoran quote puts it. How did it go?
The journey to the source is not across the vastness of space.
Or through the depth of perception. And the universe is the map, written in light and rhythm, if you but learn to read its language.
That's beautiful. And it leads right into a specific challenge or maybe an invitation from the source. A call to action for you right now.
To commit, just for a little while, to seeking understanding from at least one source, one perspective, that you don't normally turn to.
Okay, like what?
Well, maybe it's reading an article about a scientific concept that usually seems too complicated, or really sitting with a philosophical question that shakes up one of your assumptions.
Or perhaps exploring some ancient wisdom, maybe from a tradition you know almost nothing about.
Exactly. Just pick one thing outside your usual zone.
And the invitation then is to really notice. Pay attention to how looking through that different lens, hearing that different language, might shift your perspective on something familiar.
Yeah, maybe it changes how you see your daily routine, or a relationship you're in, or maybe even your whole sense of what reality is.
Hmm. A practical exercise in expanding perception.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's the thought to leave you with. If the universe truly is speaking in light and rhythm, offering itself as this incredible map,
What language is it speaking specifically to you right now?
and how will you start learning to read that map?